On this video, I am sharing what I wish I knew sooner about meditation and energy work, because this is the most powerful stuff you can do in your life, no matter where you're at, no matter where it is you want to get to. This will absolutely change everything for you. It has done wonders in my life, in what I've been able to manifest and create, but also the quality of life, my mental health, and just my overall energy throughout the day and in how I'm showing up. So cannot wait to dive in. Let's get started. Welcome back. My name is Kara Michelle, and I'm here to help you live your truth. And this is a video I've wanted to do for a long time because I used to be the biggest skeptic when it came to meditation and energy work. Like, I remember constantly looking at people who were doing that stuff, and I had so much judgment, and I just thought they were crazy and super weird, and I didn't understand it. I didn't believe that it actually had power, right? I didn't believe that there was actually something positive from it. I really was, I would say, like a very skeptical person when it came to it. And it wasn't until I started to have some of my own experiences and felt kind of called and pushed down that path to uncovering these aspects and these different tools that then I started to see, oh my gosh, there's actually something to this, which makes sense because that's why, millions of people around the world, and like just when we look at historically how far it dates back in the Eastern cultures and stuff, right? Like, it's always been there. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of our Western programming, we've been taught to think differently around it, or to judge it, and to go to external solutions instead, like, masking the symptoms and bottling things up, or taking pills for our anxiety and things like that, instead of actually doing the inner healing work, instead of actually doing holistic things to help us uncover and move through these. So what I wish I knew sooner was the fact that this reality, we believe it's just like the physical until we start doing this work, right? But like growing up, you probably were taught so much about how it's like this physical, right? And we're very much in the masculine, in a logical structure of how we saw the world and how we were taught to think. Very systematized, is that the word? Systemized? The systemized way of living and seeing the world. And so anything that we couldn't see, we didn't really believe in, right? If we can't see it, it doesn't exist, was kind of the mentality. And so when it came to things like meditation or energy work, how often do we dismiss it because we don't fully understand how it is working? And I wish this was something that had been taught to me at a younger age, because I had the most extreme anxiety for probably 20 years at least, and crippling anxiety. I played high-level sports all of my life, and would get like really, really ill before every single game. I had years where I was playing on teams, and we'd be going into the finals or into a really important match, and I would be praying that I would slip in the shower and break my leg or something so that I didn't have to play, because I had so much anxiety, put so much pressure on myself, and never felt like I was good enough. And had I understood, the power of meditation, the power of these different practices to help me navigate what felt like a very stressful time, I think so much would have been different. So much would have been better in my life, in my quality of life. And so, I actually have, there's so many things I want to talk about on this video, but I have a couple ebooks linked down below. Definitely check them out in the description box, scroll through there. But there's one that's a beginner's guide to meditation. So if you're like a very, very beginner, I highly recommend starting there, because I teach you how to find a meditation style that actually works for you, because it doesn't have to just be like sit down in silence and try to quiet your thoughts. That might not work for you. And especially at the beginning, it's probably going to be really challenging. but we all have different learning styles, and so that also can be translated over to how we start to incorporate meditation, how we start to incorporate that kind of daily practice into our life. So you can check that out as well. Just because I mentioned anxiety, if anxiety is a big part of your life, check out my ebook on that. It's 7 Powerful Tools for Anxiety, and I dive very deep into all of the things that helped me so much to get a handle on my anxiety at the time. So side note, we're coming back over to the meditation and the energy work. So I think like what is so important to mention is that your mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagination. And so when you are feeling stressed, say you're super stressed and overwhelmed about something that is happening in the future, your mind believes like that the threat is real, and it sends all the signals to your body to go into fight or flight, right? To protect yourself. And your body responds as though the stress or as though the outcome is real. So even though you're fearing something that hasn't happened yet, it could be something you're afraid about like a week from now, you're stressed about it, but your mind sends the signals to your body and your body responds as if it's already happening. So your body creates the event before it's even happened. And now you're physically in this state of panic or anxiety or stress, right? And so all of these things are linked together. If you could have the control over your mind beforehand to help clear out or to help, detach from those kinds of thoughts, from that stress or overwhelm, then your mind wouldn't even send the signals to your body. You wouldn't even experience the suffering or the pain in this moment. And you're going to be in a better state of being to help actually prep and manage what is coming your way. So it's kind of like this vicious cycle that we get stuck on. And again, for most of my life, I thought that the mindset wasn't important. And even when I heard about mindfulness and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's so cheesy. Mindfulness isn't going to help at all, right? I need like a solution. I need something big. I don't want to just be aware of my thoughts. That doesn't seem like it's going to help me at all. And yet that is literally everything, because as you become aware of those thoughts, you start to realize, okay, these things don't actually serve me, or this thought made me feel really bad, but why am I thinking about it? Like, what would I rather think? What thought would help me feel good in this moment, right? We have so much power within us to heal and to create and to transform. But it's really hard to do that when we're not feeling confident or empowered or stable. So I wish that I had been taught the importance of the story I was telling myself every day, the story that I was replaying over and over again. I talk about that a lot in this video. So if you struggle with telling yourself a limiting story, or you're just still telling yourself a story from your old self and you want to transform into this new version of you, this is going to be super helpful, because understanding how to shift your self-image psychology to see yourself in a new light, and therefore to tell the new stories to match that version of you, is gonna like blow you out of the water. It's gonna be so incredible. So that is definitely worth checking out if that's something you can relate to. When it comes to the energy world, I'm tying this back in to what I said before of how easily we dismiss things that we can't see. So because we can't physically see energy, it's really easy to be skeptical of it again, and to, not really believe that it matters or that it's there. But a perfect example is like when you walk into a room and you feel like something's a little bit off, that's picking up on energy. Maybe it's coming from a certain person, or maybe it's coming from something that had happened in there, or maybe it's an intuition or premonition about something that is going to happen, and you just kind of feel unsettled or ungrounded, or a little bit like, something doesn't feel right here. That is a very, very perfect example of your connection to the energetics. And the more time you spend with your intuition, the more time you spend getting to know yourself, which I talk about on this video here, that's really, really going to help you to become more empowered with that, to realize and notice just how strongly you are connected to energy. I remember one really powerful moment after my brother passed away. I had so many experiences with him where he was manipulating energy, because I personally believe, you know, the soul still lives on. So even though his physical body was gone, he's still around, and like actually he's around even more than he ever was physically, because he could only physically be in one place at one time. But energetically, we are like connected to everything in the quantum field. We're connected. We're all just a bunch of vibrating particles, so we're all interconnected. And I had so many experiences with him, but one of the things that I noticed was, as I started realizing this and questioning and looking more into just energy work and how this all made sense, I had this moment where I looked at the couch at my mom's house, and it was like the weirdest thing. I could see all these vibrating particles. Like it felt like something from a movie. You know when you know the old school, when you'd go to the movie theater and you'd get the 3D glasses, and one was red and one was blue. It felt like I had put those glasses on and I was staring at the couch, and I could just see all the little pieces, all the little particles of energy moving around all over, and moving so fast that they created what looked like a physical object. And I was like standing there in the living room, and then I was like, oh, okay. This is very interesting. This is not something I've ever experienced before. And in that moment, I started to understand how like everything, the wall behind me, the reason it's like a solid wall is because of the density, partly because of gravity on Earth, right? But also just like it's a whole bunch of particles that had been in motion, but put into a solid object, and like because of the density holding it in there, there is still vibrating particles, there's still energy. We just don't see it. We only see the physical manifestation of it, the physical representation. Just like me as a human being, not only so I look like one physical person, but I'm actually a makeup of like billions or trillions of cells, and all of those little things are doing their unique jobs to keep me alive, to make up all the different parts of me, my skin cells, my organs, everything. It's actually a bunch of little things creating the bigger thing. I don't see that with my day-to-day eyes, but that's what's happening, and it's the same for the energy. So the energetic particles, the energy field around me is constantly interacting with other things, with other people. And so that's why when you walk into a room, like I said, you could either feel really elevated, maybe the energy in a room, you go to like a concert, a really beautiful concert, not like the ones we've had recently, a beautiful concert filled with loving energy, excited people, you're gonna immediately feel like you're recharged, like you're amped up, like this energy unlocks within you. You're gonna be so elevated. That's not something you can physically see, but you feel it, right? Same as walking into a room and feeling like, oh, you know, this weight has been lifted, or I feel safe, or I feel just this beautiful feeling right away. That's you picking up on the energy. So the reason why this is so powerful, and the reason why it's changed my life, is just because it allowed me to stop being so stuck in the one-dimensional way of seeing things as just logic or the physical being, right? It started to put together all these different pieces about all these different truths, and it allowed me to understand myself better. Like I said, connecting to my intuition and realizing, oh, that actually, like, I can trust my intuition. It's not crazy. It's because it's picking up on the energies. It's because it's aware of these different things that maybe my physical eyes can't see, but my energy knows. And so it's really empowering as you start to practice these different things and spend more time with yourself, being open to them and learning more, and then diving into that practice. And so I actually have an amazing 5-day challenge that can help you connect deeper to who you are, help you connect deeper to the things you're ready to let go of, as well as the things you're calling in and your higher self, right? That version of you who's already doing all the things that you want. And it also has daily meditations, and so that's really going to help you see the power of meditation in your life, as well as with the energetic shifts that come from that, how all of a sudden you're no longer carrying some of the things you had been carrying and you're feeling more free. So if you want to check that out, the link for the 5-day challenge is down below. I highly recommend it. Will help so much, especially if you're kind of at the beginning of this journey, as well as if you're just wanting to do an up level. Then you probably already have meditated and done this stuff, but this will just be something to help instill and ground it in even deeper for you. So definitely check that out. If you found this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notifications. I will see you on the next video tomorrow. So much love to you.